Hello and welcome once again to Jumble Lane. Today I'd like to introduce you to my control panel. It's one of two control panels that I've built here at Jumble Lane, and what I'll do today is show you the ins and outs of these control panels. Quite a mixture of wires and switches and bits and pieces, and to some might be a bit of a jungle, but it is really quite simple, and today I'm going to tell you how it can be done quite easily. At the heart of this control panel is this little circuit board that I've built. This is just a prototype, although I have built more since, and they are a little bit neater and a bit better. What you get is that information, or electrical current, comes in from your frog. This is a common to your LEDs, in this case on the control panel, and this is to each of the LEDs, whether it's a thrown point or a straight point. Similarly, if you're running signals, it'd be one to your green signal or one to your red signal. In my control panels I've got also switches for lighting and some MP3 boards. These little simple little MP3 boards and a speaker, and basically by just switching the pair onto one of these boards, recorded sound can be heard. There's a little SD card in the MP3 board, and it's just loaded with different MP3 files. You can see that on the front of the panel there, you've got all these switches down here. Not all of them are connected at the moment. This one is for the lights at the station. You can see that on the other side of the layout there is another panel, and this houses not only the same switches for lighting and the sound board, the MP3 board, but also as a housing for my control panel for the turntable. I can still use my turntable via the DCC controls in the normal way from my apps on the iPad and tablets and phones, but at some point you will need to use that panel if you need to recalibrate or add different positions, etc. Again, the layout of the track, where all the turnouts and the points are switched and indicated. I have got in this area, it's a bit too busy, I don't really like it, and there's a possibility that I might redesign the whole lot just to do that and make it a lot easier to understand. There are 10 LEDs in this area just for two sets of crossovers which are over the top of each other. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, 2 up, 2 down. One goes this way, so the bottom 2 here go along the bottom 2 here, top 2 go to the top 2 here, but they can go from one pair to the other pair on their own, from one to the other, or that one to the other, or all together. And you've got diamond crossings in between. The lighting, the LED indications, isn't really easy to understand, although if you're going straight you get the 4 corners lit up, and if you're going across you get a diamond lit up, and that's the easiest way to remember it. But I have a few issues, and once I've got these addressed I might redesign that just to make it looking more simple. And as you can see, I've got a couple of holes here where I used to have switches. All these switches were just push buttons, but I've now put them into toggles, which are self-centering toggles. Easier to operate. I had a few problems with the buttons. They were shorting out and moving the points, although this one is at the moment, and I've got to get round to tracing the fault. But with a lot of wiring behind these, I've just got to sit down quietly at some point and do that. Same for this layout. We've got switches for lighting there, and we have those at the top there, and we also have a switch here for the station Culfrey Junction. So that's the control panels, and a little glimpse into how they work. But what I've done, I've built just a single switch to show you on a control panel on a circuit board that I've made, and I'll take you to see that now. So here we have a photograph of the package with the PCB in it, and as you can see, you've got the terminals, the resistors and the diodes. If you have a look at a diagram, you can see on the left you've got the first terminal block, and that is the first 8, the top 8 are the channels. I'll call them channels, and that's sets of signals or lights, control panel lights that you want to use. The last 2, 9 and 10, are the DCC from the track. It doesn't matter which way around you put these initially, they just go to the track or the system bus, whichever makes it easy for yourself. Next to that there are resistors, and then there's another connection block which is your common 3 LEDs. It's a common cathode, and then you've got another terminal block which is LED A, and the other block LED B, and they relate to your either in your control panel your thrown or your straight on your turnouts or points, or it'll be your red signal or your green signal depending which way around you have them wired. If we go to the underside of the board, well, showing the underside of the tracks, you can see and you can follow each line as it goes through, and you'll notice that there are breaks in the track. What you've got is you've got your first block, which, as I say, is your connection from your frogs through the resistors to the second block, which is your common, and then the tracks break there, and then your diodes go from one of your DCC bus lines through your diode onto your block A, and then the same as in the second lot of diodes going to block B, and those white squares represent where the breaks are in the track, so you don't get any feedback through the tracks. The resistors are shown there. They go from the terminal and across the resistor to the second set of terminals, so you can connect in on the left from your frog, and then that goes to your common. The value of these resistors is a 47k resistor. That's dependent upon the voltage of your track and the current that your lighting takes. But the 47k would probably be a good one just for LEDs on a normal DCC track. The second lot is diodes, and as you can see, you've got the left-hand set of diodes going on to the connection of the 9th terminal, and then the bottom row of the second lot go into the 10th. So they go from a different DCC bus, and that becomes more evident when you follow the track, and then you've got the route. So that is the route of the frog going in and then coming out through the resistor, coming out onto the second block, and that goes to the common cathode. And that is your common for your lighting or your signals. And equally, you've got the same which goes through to your LEDs, which is your indication on your control panel for thrown or straight, or as your signals red and green. And as I say, it doesn't really matter which way around initially you have them. You can just swap them around if they've gone to the wrong side. How it actually works, and if you follow this, you've got your basic set of points, or in America they'll be known as turnouts, and I use ELECTROFROG points, and you can see the green wire is attached to the frog, and then just to the left of the frog you've got the isolated joints which feed to your track. To the right of the points you've got your DCC connections, your droppers or your bus line, whichever way you want to put it, and they go into your bottom two terminals of the first terminal block. And as you can see, the black goes to the first set, and that goes through the first diode. Well, it goes through all of the diodes, but in this case just the one diode, into your top terminal of your third block to your diode. And then the same for your other diode and coming off the red side of the track. If you follow this, you can see that the points are going straight, and because the frog is at the same potential as the black DCC wire, then between your black wire terminal and your green wire terminal there is no potential. So as the current flows through there, well, there is no current, you won't get any indication on your LED. Your red, however, is connected to the other set, and there is a potential between the frog and the bottom rail, and that's typically how ELECTROFROG works. And taking this advantage, you can then have your current flowing through the diode into the terminal block and out onto your red LED as it's shown on the diagram. Likewise, if you throw your points, the other LED lights up. And just to demonstrate that again. And that's basically how this circuit board works. So here we have the test bed and demonstration piece, and we've got our circuit board. This is a DCC Concepts Cobalt SS point motor controller with a point motor, and then we've got the little demonstration panel just showing one turnout, which is representative of the track, as I'll show you in a moment. What you've got on this is just one switch and two LEDs. It's basically made up of two entities. The LEDs are controlled by this unit, and the switch, which is totally separate, operates the switching of the point through whatever type of point you've got, whether you've got seat motors or just tortoise type motors. I've got both these and the tortoise, the DCC Concept digital IPs, and they work both with DCC control or working off my panel. In this case, the switch connects to these terminals, which basically just tells this controller to throw the points one way or the other. We've got the wiring here, which is the 3 wires which go to the 2 LEDs. You've got the black common, which is common to both LEDs, and you've got the red and the green, which goes to one or the other. The green wire at the back here goes down to the frog on the points, and the black and the red go to the DCC bus that feeds the track. What I've also got connected is a small signal, and as you can see at the moment that's on red, and that will change to green. That also is connected to the circuit board on a second channel, and I'll explain a little bit about that later. As you can see, the top LED is on at the moment, which means that the route is for the top there. By pressing the switch down, the points will be thrown, and then you've got the route through here. As I said, I can control this by DCC, and I can do it on this hand throttle. Just like that, and it works exactly the same. You can see at the moment we're on green, so you can go there, and if I was going to throw the points, you can see that now it's on red. So what we're going to do now is just run the loco, so we'll need to give him a green light, and then he can go. And then if we throw the points, and similarly, if there's a locomotive wanting to come up this line, he is being told to stop because we've got something coming down that line. And that's how it works. I hope you found that interesting and useful. If you need to ask any questions, you need to know a bit more, or you want to know how to apply it to your particular switch motors or your layout, then just comment below and I'll get back to you. I answer all my comments, so please comment, like and subscribe. Thank you very much.